To learn to live the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Click the bell notification. It's all free. So it's been a little late in the day today before I got recording a video. I just butchered a bunch of chickens. So I thought I'd do a this or that video. I've had a lot of luck with those. A lot of people have commented they like the this and that videos where I just kind of randomly talk about things. So I thought I'd just randomly talk about things, about what's going on here on the off-grid property. So as you know, we recently got a bunch of firewood for free from different locations. You know, people cutting down trees and they put it on Facebook Marketplace. I have this app called Free Stuff, and it lets me know anytime somebody posts something on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or whatever, and it says, you know, free firewood, and I try to get it as fast as I can. I've missed out on a few opportunities because we're butchering these chickens and cooking them. I don't want to miss that. You know, I don't want them dying on me because they're just not going to live much longer. So as you'll remember, we had firewood going all the way down to that tarp, just all this firewood here, and Carolyn has been splitting it. Now I helped a little bit, but not near as much as what she has done, and she's cleaned this entire pile up. She's just got these few pieces left here. Then I got to get to cutting some more firewood. She still can do this stuff over here. Now she's been putting this stuff in a wagon because she is convinced that this is dry enough to burn, even though the moisture reader says it's not. We're gonna let it dry out a few days, test it again and see if it'll dry out. Then we can burn that this year. Then I got to get this cut up over here. Got to get these cut in half and get some splits made into them. And then we can start splitting this as well. We've really gotten quite a bit of firewood. Before we got all this firewood, the firewood came down up to this tarp here. And so she has made a double stack all the way up to here. And then of course over here at the house, we've got a pile because it was just in the way. So we got to get that stacked up. She has done a fantastic job. I'm really impressed. And she's done it all with this manual log splitter. She loves this thing. In about 6 more days, we're going to go get an electric log splitter, but it almost seems like she's going to have this all finished before we actually get to use it. I'm pretty excited about the electric log splitter. Now I know a lot of folks want me to get a gas-powered one. I just don't want a gas-powered one. I don't need one. It's just something else I'm going to have to maintain, keep oil and gas. And the lawnmower takes lots of gas. Every time I cut the grass, it takes a gallon of gas, and that's just not something I like. I mean, I love having a lawnmower, but the gas thing is not what I want to do. So if I can minimize the gas running products as much as possible, then that's where I want to go. Like I said, this morning I was butchering chickens, kind of switching gears a little bit, and today is the most that I've butchered. I started out, I think I butchered 4, and then I butchered 5 the second day, then 6, and then finally I butchered 9. So that means this is now animal free. We don't have any chickens, meat chickens left. So we're gonna get this cleaned up as soon as I get everything canned. So I got 2 more days of canning. I'm gonna take all this manure out. I'm gonna get the straw stacked up differently, clean up the little house we got there. Get the manure out here and we're going to put it in the corn garden. 9 chickens took me 2.5 hours today. I've gotten progressively faster at it. Got a kind of a process. I hope I remember that process next year. I don't want to forget. The walnuts are falling. I almost tripped on a walnut here. That time of the year. Then we can open this up for the egg chickens. As you know, we've got the littles in with the matures. And the littles are just not integrating very well with the mature chickens. They just hide in the coop, and I feel so bad for them because they don't get to come out and stretch their legs very much. We got a couple out right now. These 2 are the mature chickens. Okay, they're running out now. That's the littles. They're all coming out. That's the littles. So my guess is we got the mean hen. She's probably laying an egg. That's my guess. But if I can get this opened up, so we got the 3 runs, that's 300 square feet. Right now they only got 100 square feet, which is enough for them. But that one hen, she looks like this one here, just picks on them so bad. Somebody asked me, how do you butcher chickens? Doesn't it bother you? I don't know. I mean, not really. I feel bad for chickens like the littles right now. I feel terrible for them because they're suffering. They're not happy. And I like for the animals to be happy and content up to the day that, you know, we have to eat them. And so that's what I did with the meat birds. I wanted to make sure they were happy the whole time. And here they're starting to get old. We went 11 weeks. You're supposed to butcher them in between 8 and 12. They were at 11 and they were really starting to suffer. You could see it. They weren't walking around, breathing badly, just constantly panting. So I was starting to feel bad for them. So in my mind, you know, I kind of put them out of their misery. When it comes to animals, I'm very empathetic. I really am. I know that's got to be hard to believe, that I can butcher and be empathetic. I feel more empathy sometimes for animals than I do humans, because I think humans cause their own misery. The animals, any misery they have is because of me. I don't know how to explain it. It's a job, it's a chore. I got to eat, just a way of life. And I just find it interesting that some people say they want to live this lifestyle, but they can't butcher. I don't recommend you send your animals out to get them processed, because that just costs a lot of money. I mean, if that's what you want to do, I'm not telling you what to do. I've never tried to tell anybody what to do, but you're going to end up spending quite a bit of money on the processing fees when it would have just been as cheap to go out and buy it at the store if you find the sales. So keep that in mind. I've started a Rumble channel. I haven't done anything with it. I put a couple videos on it. The same videos that are on YouTube. I mean, you can go check it out, but you've already watched them probably. But I was thinking about maybe doing a video of butchering the chickens on Rumble. I just don't know. I don't want to disgust everybody and make everybody upset or anything like that. Of course, I would let you know, okay, this is a butchering video, warning, put all the warnings in there, but you know that people would get upset. I mean, I got a video coming out here in a few days where I prove to you that people are getting very upset that I'm butchering animals, and I'm not even putting it on the YouTube. I'm just telling you that's what I'm doing. So people are very sensitive nowadays, but I don't know how people would have survived 100 years ago even if they had the attitude that they have today. Oh, I can't butcher. What happened to our society that we can't do these things? You know, your grandfather could do it, or your great-grandfather, but today we can't do it. And I'm not trying to insult anybody when I say this. If something were to happen to our society, wouldn't we have to learn how to do that again? If you're watching this channel because you want to survive a catastrophe, then learn the survival skills. I hear survivalists say all the time, oh, you know, I gotta buy MREs and I gotta buy food and I gotta store food and I gotta buy. Well, even if you had a year's worth of food and society broke down and we're no electricity, a solar flare comes and knocks out the grid for 10 years. You know, all the things that the preppers talk about, a year's worth of food isn't enough. And if you can't butcher, then what will you do to survive? So I'm just confused by that. I mean, I've butchered pigs and deer and chickens, rabbits. I would say rabbits were the hardest for me to butcher emotionally. I mean, I was able to do it, but Carolyn has decided that we weren't going to butcher rabbits because she was afraid that they would turn into pets. And that makes sense. You don't want to get attached to something, and rabbits are very easy to get attached to. Heck, chickens are easy to get attached to. I got Two-Face down there. She's very identifiable. I know exactly who she is. She came up here to got sick. You know, she had a damaged eye. She got in a fight. So we nursed her back to health for a week or so. Well, now you go in there and she runs up to you and she wants you to pet her. Butchering her would be kind of difficult. So you got to be careful of that. And people say, oh, don't name your animals. If that makes you feel better, then that's fine. Don't name your animals. But it doesn't change anything. It's still just what it is. Two-Face. Whoever named their animal Two-Face. Okay, I haven't taken in a tiny house for a while. I wanted to show you what we got going on in here with our stockpile of food. I don't want to call it stockpile, but that's what I just did. We have 3 shelves of food now. This one, once we're done canning, will be filled up. And then we have just a variety of cans just laying out on other shelves and under the bed. So what we have here is clearly over a year's worth of food. Chicken noodle soup gives us 2 meals. So each jar is a 2-meal deal. And this wasn't that hard to do. I mean, you can do 20, we got 2 canners, so we can do 20 jars per batch. And if we're really in a hurry, we can do 2 batches a day. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I start cooking the chicken. You just start canning. Now, if you're canning anything that doesn't need to be hot packed, like chicken, we cold packed, I think, yeah, cold packed pork. So you just cut the pork up and throw it in a jar and you start canning it. So you don't even have to cook that, so that went a lot faster. Because you spend 3 hours cooking chicken and then another hour and a half canning it, plus the heat up time and the cool down time. So it's a 6 hours just to get 1 batch. So I don't know how many jars a year, I forget, I lost count. But then we got like 60 jars of broth. I know that's probably not very exciting, but we thought that since we don't use quart jars for anything, that we would do broth from the chicken that we cook. And that saves Carolyn extra work while she's cooking. Now, a lot of people said, aren't you going to add flavoring to this? We have what's called better than bouillon chicken flavoring. Our first batch that we did, we put that bouillon in it. And then we decided, no, we don't want to do that. Carolyn wanted to be able to flavor it to taste per meal. So if we're eating fajitas, for example, we may not want to use better than bouillon. That may be a waste. Maybe we put, I don't know, sour cream in it, whatever. So instead of wasting the better than bouillon and then not really need it. So no, we don't do any flavoring. We don't salt and pepper, nothing. We just can it just like you would at the store. You buy canned chicken, you open it up and you make whatever you want out of it, sandwiches or... So I hope I can inspire you to think about your future when you're living your dream. Thanks for watching.